Welcome to Shreveport Connection with Tommy. This video is on your Raw results from September 2nd, 2019, and your WWE main event results. Birthdays: September the 1st. Bad Dog Vachon, 1929. Bam Bam Bigelow, 1961. Rocco Rott, 1953. Sam Snuka, 1971. Doug Williams, 1972. Sammy Callahan, 1987, and rounding off birthdays for this week, for September 2nd, Tracy Smothers, 1962. Earlier this week, a report came out that Enzo Amore and Big Cass were in talks with WWE officials to make a return to the NXT brand. Enzo was released from the company in January 2018. Cass was in June of 2018. The same day, WWE reached out to the media to say that the story has no basis, and that they had no discussions with either of the two former WWE superstars. After all this came to light, Cass commented on Twitter, "Idiots," with a laughing emoji. Alex McCarthy of TalkSport recently wrapped up a 30-minute sit-down interview with Triple H and tweeted about his comments about Enzo and Cass' situation. Quoted by saying, "I immediately told our PR to shoot down the Enzo and Cass rumors," Triple H said. "Absolutely zero interest. Congratulations to Enzo. I'm sure spreading rumors is working well for him, but I want no part of it," unquote. Ring of Honor TV show for this week, episode number 414, can be found in this link. Also noted that WWE almost brought back the Authors of Pain on this week's Raw for the tag team. Last week's tag team turmoil match that crowned Dolph Ziggler and Robert Roode as new number one contenders to the Raw Tag Team Champions, Seth Rollins and Braun Strowman, for the match at Clash of Champions. In an update, Akama and Rezar were originally scheduled to do well in the match, according to the Wrestling Observer newsletter. Despite the planned strong performance, AOP were set to lose to Roode and Ziggler, but not necessarily in the final part of the match. Also noted that Viking Raiders were scheduled to win another squash match on this week's Raw, but the plans were changed, and they were added to the 8-team turmoil match instead. Of course, that's Vince McMahon's changing. The King of the Ring tournament match between The Miz and winner Baron Corbin originally scheduled to go for about 5 minutes instead of 10 minutes, but it was given more time when officials decided on pulling the Viking squash. All of these changes at Raw were said to be Vince McMahon's calls. It was noted earlier in the week by PW Insider on that Monday's Raw from the Smoothie King Center in New Orleans was said to be one of the smoothest running shows in several weeks. Besides what was mentioned just previously in this video, there was said to be very little changes made to the original script. Whatever. In other news, Vince, from this week's TV, WWE Chairman also changed a ton of stuff for Tuesday's SmackDown from Baton Rouge. The word is that most of the episode was largely put together by Vince himself the day of the show. It was reported on Tuesday that Vince was not backstage at Baton Rouge, but had been going over the SmackDown script by phone, working with creative officials. It was reported that the King of the Ring tournament match between Shelton Benjamin and the winner Chad Gable was set to go for 12 minutes. But that was changed, and the match went just under 4 minutes. Thanks to Wrestling Observer newsletter for that. And that was last week's report. Former WWE Champion Batista has been announced as a playing character in the Gears of War 5 video game in this league. Tanisha Biggers had a run for Impact TNA from 2008 to 2009 as rhaka, but now she's apparently on the run from the law. Crime Stoppers of El Paso says that Kahn is one of El Paso's most wanted fugitives for the week of August 25th, 2019. She is listed under the name of Tanisha Sims now, aka Tanisha Biggers or Tanisha Williams, has been charged with interference with child custody. No other information regarding Kahn is being given under her than her age, height, weight, and features. Crime Stoppers urges anyone with information to call 915-566-8477, and they can remain anonymous and are eligible to receive a cash reward. Kahn's last known in-ring stint came with Lucha Libre USA in 2010 to 2011, where she competed under the name of La Tigresa Caliente. When she was in TNA prior to Lucha Libre, Kahn also, along with Roxy Laveau, were both suspended for 60 days for getting into a backstage altercation after Laveau confronted Kahn for working too stiff. Before the WWE established their own developmental brand with NXT, and even before the days of Ohio Valley Wrestling, they often partnered with smaller wrestling promotions to help develop talent. One of those was the Ultimate Pro Wrestling and the likes of John Cena. The Miz, Samoa Joe passed through UPW before heading to WWE. Rick Bassman was the owner and founder of UPW, and he talked about starting the Ultimate Pro Wrestling on the Payoff Pod. So I wanted to start a school, and I started a school. It was called Ultimate University, and started a promotion that was attended to that was called Ultimate Pro Wrestling, or UPW. Not long thereafter, I signed my first developmental deal with WWF, said Bassman. I had two different contractual periods with them under UPW, and in that period of time, I discovered, trained, and delivered. When I said trained, I did a little bit of it myself. I'm not a worker. I train promo class. I think I'm pretty good at that. I did a little bit of psychology work and in-ring training. But I had great trainers. When I say I never mean I. It's we, us, our. It was a whole collective effort. Let's say through the UPW system, which I ran point on. Through the years, there were 43 guys and girls that went on to WWF and in WWE through me in my system. That's a record that's never to be equaled again. But some of the guys and girls were Victoria, who became WWE Women's Champion, of course. Nathan Jones, John Heidenreich, the Masterpiece Chris Masters, The Miz, and John Cena. These are all people that I started with. There are also a whole bunch of others that came to us. Guys like Paul London and Brian Kendrick. They were already well into their training and working days, people that I started with. Working days, but they would relocate from their case from Texas all the way to California to be part of my system because they believe that they can be seen through UPW, then take the next leap. Long before Bassman founded UPW, he was scouting talent and looking for the next wrestling superstar. One of those people who he helped discover was the Ultimate Warrior, who was transitioning from bodybuilding to wrestling, thus being the Dingo Warrior in WCCW World Class Championship Wrestling. Bassman talks about helping discover the Warrior because before he made it big in the world of pro wrestling, a new friend at the time was Ed Connors, who was one of the founders and was operating partner of Gold's Gym worldwide, including in Venice where he was headquartered. Bassman said, I told him we were looking for aspiring wrestlers. He goes, I think I might have a perfect guy for you. He shows me this photo of Jim Hellwig, a.k.a. the Ultimate Warrior, in his bodybuilder prime. I looked at that photo. I'm like, holy crap. Physique-wise, face-wise, I mean, this guy, just the hair, he looked absolutely amazing. So Ed said, I can set up a phone call. Anyway, impression was one of the visual, just the photographic image. 2 was Ed asked if I wanted to set a call. Of course, I took him up on it. Got on the phone with Jim, and my initial impressions were extremely intelligent, extremely articulate, and pretty introspective. Businesslike for sure, but I thought for sure when I got off that first call that I had my guy. This was the mid-1980s. So, and just a few years later, the Warrior was headlining WrestleMania 6 in a match against the Hulk Hogan. While the match featured the 2 most popular WWE wrestlers at the time, and it isn't held as an all-time classic due to the lumbering styles of both competitors. Still, though, Bassman says that the focus should be more so on the reactions generated than the technical aspects of the match. Whatever the lack of high-flying, incredible 5-star match or whatever. We watch these matches, said Bassman. Obviously, we're watching them on mute, so I've been paying more attention to the crowd reaction than I ever probably did prior to this. I look at the fans. I mean, they went nuts. They loved it. It was significant to them. Therefore, you can really say that it wasn't a home run of a match. Obviously, it was something that lives on all these years later. And that was the highlights of that. As seen in this link, Sheamus trains with a stuntman and former MMA fighter, pro wrestler Paul Lazenby for the latest episode of Celtic Warrior Tryouts series on YouTube. Sheamus and Lazenby have been working on the WWE Netflix movie The Main Event in Vancouver. By the way, Sheamus looking like Kurt Hawkins now, as you can see in the video. Liv Morgan last appeared on WWE TV on July 16th episode of SmackDown, where she took on and lost to Charlotte. Morgan controlled most of the match and almost put Flair away, but lost by submission. Liv got emotional after the loss, snatched a headset from Corey Graves, and referred to earlier insults from Flair. Charlotte was right. And when I come back, I'm going to be real. Earlier today, Morgan tweeted out a video at this link of her cutting her signature pink hair. Oh, is she coming with a new look? All you've seen from it was floating hair. Finn Balor took to Twitter and revealed a new look as well. Balor got married to Fox Sports host Veronica Rodriguez last weekend, and is currently taking time away from WWE, but should be back in action this fall and can be found in this link. WWE recently fired a trademark to Breezango and the Outliners for wrestling use. Breezango, if you don't know, their tag team, were titled Breeze and Fandango. The Outliners, NXT tag team of Riddick Moss and Dorian Mack, with manager Robert Stone. Probably Robbie E, formerly of TNA, and currently working on with an NXT tag team division. WWE's A-lister The Miz recently spoke with Ross Tidwell at the 11th hour link. At this link here about his career in WWE that has spanned over a decade now, 10 years. Also, he has faced several legends in the past. Miz reveals the one late great star that he wishes could lace up his boots for one more match against him in the link. My dream was always to wrestle the Ultimate Warrior, and then it just sucks that he passed away. When I was a kid growing up, I would put streamers on my arms, paint my face, and run around like the Warrior. So that would be my one dream. Miz admitted, but I've been able to wrestle a lot of my heroes. I've gotten to act and wrestle with Shawn Michaels. I've gotten to wrestle Marty Jannetty. I've gotten to wrestle The Rock. I've wrestled Bret the Hitman Hart. I mean, how many people could say that? In this generation, they may have had a match and actually lost the U.S. Championship in Toronto, of all the places, to Bret the Man Hart. So, I mean, it's pretty incredible. Unquote. Cedric Alexander took to Twitter this morning to hype tonight's King of the Ring quarterfinal match against Baron Corbin on Raw. Baltimore is where I started to really make my name in wrestling before I came to at WWE, and tonight, Monday Night Raw, #Raw, I come one step closer to becoming King. #King of the Ring. #Age of Alexander. #Second to none. #Ebony Lion, he wrote. Unquote. Ronda Rousey recently posted a video to her YouTube channel and this link to celebrate 15 years of World of Warcraft with Leroy Jenkins. Rousey said to be a big fan of the game. Goes behind the scenes of the recent WOW 15th anniversary commercial and then does a one-handed unboxing of the collector's edition treasure chest. And it's the actual toast to 15-year commercial from WOW. And also, made an announcement today, congratulate SmackDown Tag Team Champion Xavier Woods on reaching 2 million subscribers for his Up, Down, Down YouTube channel at this link. Woods launched the channel in mid-2015 and currently has 2,993,000 subscribers with 299,655 video views. They will celebrate their 2 million subscriber milestone by releasing an interview with Triple H on Wednesday. And WWE congratulatory announcement from WWE on that, which I did not get the link for that. Being the Elite recap episode 168 at this link. AEW All Out from the Sears Center in Chicago, Illinois. They had the results. Casino Battle Royal started off the show. Leva Bates, Fabi Apache, Priscilla Kelly, Nyla Rose, and Shalandra Royal entered the match. Then you got Penelope Ford, Shanta McKenzie, Sadie Gibbs, Big Swole, and Britt Baker entered the match. Tennille Dashwood, I Release, B. Presley, Brandy Rhodes, and Awesome Kong entered. Then you got Ali, Nicole Savoy, Teal Piper, making her debut. ODB and Jazz entered. Mercedes Martinez was the final entrance. Winner of the match, Nyla Rose, won the Casino Battle Royal and will earn the first spot in the AEW Women's Championship match on October 2nd. First match of the buy-in video at this link here. 53 minutes long. Might be the whole show. After the match, Angelico and Evans attacked Private Party and the crowd chanted "Party Poopers." The next link here of Wardlow. He takes down a bunch of thugs who go after him while he's walking through a parking garage with his lady. Must be his debut. SEU, SoCal Uncensored versus Lucha Tars, Mark Stutt and Luke Jungle Boy. Winners of the match, SEU by pinfall. After the match, SEU shook hands with the other team. Formerly known as Neville versus Kenny Omega. The PAC won by submission by referee stoppage. Darby Allin versus Joey Janela versus Jimmy Havoc. Winner of the match, Jimmy Havoc by pinfall. Best Friends versus the Dark Order. Winners receive first round bye in the AEW Tag Team Championship Tournament. Dark Order by pinfall and received the first round bye in the AEW Tag Team Tournament. After the match, Dark Order continued the attack and the lights suddenly go out. Orange Cassidy is standing in the ring when the lights come back on. come up. Hands in his pocket, hits a suicide dive on the creepers, and rolls back in the ring. Chip up, and the crowd is loving it with the freshly squeezed chant. The best friends head into the ring to give Cassidy a double hug, who responds with a weak thumbs up. Rio versus Hikaru Shida. Winner receives a shot at the AEW Women's Championship on October 2nd against Nyla Rose. And Riho won by pinfall. Cody with MJF versus Shawn Spears with Tully Blanchard in his corner. Winner of the match, Cody by pinfall, of course. Not going to have the owner of the company lose a match. Pentagon Jr. and Phoenix as champion versus the Young Bucks. Escarado de la Morte match for the AAA Tag Team titles. Pentagon Jr. and Phoenix retained the AAA tag titles. After the match, two masked men came to the ring and destroyed everyone that was in the match. And at the link, this link here, you can see who it was. None other than formerly Impact Tag Team match LAX, who are now debuting for AEW. Chris Jericho versus Adam Page for AEW World Championship match. Chris Jericho by pinfall to become the new AEW World Champion. If you didn't know, this was done on Saturday, and after the pay-per-view or whatever, he went to a steakhouse and got his title belt stolen. After the match, Jericho celebrates for the title, and this link, Page looks on from the floor, stunned at what happened. Jericho defeated Adam Page to win the world title in the main event. Cody Rhodes took to the ring to thank the fans for coming to the show. Also praised Adam Page, and they noted that November 22nd, Thanksgiving Eve, the company will be back at the Center for TNT taping for your AEW event. Fans may have noticed during Cody's all-out entrance for his match against Shawn Spears that his dog Pharaoh got scared while walking out. Motors, the dog name, mistakenly went off during the entrance, and according to Cody, Pharaoh isn't a fan of thunder, so he reacted in a similar way when they went off. Backstage, AEW President Tony Khan was not happy about what happened. According to BW Insider, in the main event, Adam Page rode out to the ring on a horse, and they waited until the horse was safely corralled before firing off Chris Jericho's pyro. Cody was then asked about his dog on Twitter, and he commented, "He's fine. The mortars, noisy ones, shouldn't have fired. He got spooked, just like with thunder. I'm glad he saw me, though. He's excited to meet folks tomorrow and help out the Paul's Shelter." At the post-all-out media scrum, AEW President Tony Khan was asked about the status of Kylie Ray. Ray has been out of action since her loss in a fatal four-way match against Nyla Rose, Awesome Kong, and Britt Baker at AEW Double or Nothing back in May. Khan confirmed that Ray asked to be released from her contract, and it was granted. He also noted that there were no hard feelings, according to Megan O'Keefe, who was backstage at All Out. It was in July reported that Ray was out due to a medical issue and had been hoped she would return soon. The report continued that AAA Tag Team titles will no longer be featured in AEW, and the upcoming AEW Tag Team tournament will become a focus for the company. Pentagon Jr. and Phoenix defeated the Young Bucks last night to retain the titles. Matt and Nick Jackson were said to be a bit banged up after the match, but no injuries reported. In regards to former and current Impact Wrestling stars showing up at last night's event, LAX, Santana, and Ortiz made their debut, attacking the Young Bucks, Pentagon Jr. and Phoenix after their match. The name LAX is expected to change for the duo in AEW. During the 21 Women Casino Battle Royal, Teddy Old Dashwood made an appearance but came up short in the match. AEW is reportedly looking to use her more down the road, but nothing is confirmed as of now. And she's also in Impact Wrestling as well. AEW World Champion Chris Jericho allegedly had the title belt stolen earlier in the week. That was briefly discussed a few minutes ago while eating dinner at Longhorns Steakhouse in Tallahassee, Florida. Jericho had been just returned home from Chicago, where Saturday's AEW All Out pay-per-view was held. Jericho defeated Adam Page in the main event of the All Out to become the inaugural champion. That's it. They did the same thing when he came for the first ever champion in WWE. Police are calling it a grand theft. The theft happened on Sunday, not Saturday, according to PW Insider. No word yet on how AEW is handling the incident, but Brian Alvarez noted on Twitter that the company does have a second belt. There's been some fan speculation on AEW not having the belt when the premiere on TNT on Wednesday, October 2nd, in Washington, D.C., due to a reported turnaround time of 6 to 8 weeks on a new title belt. But that shouldn't be an issue if they have a second belt. Stay tuned more for your SmackDown video if I find out more on the title belt situation. The OC, Luke Gallows, Carl Anderson, and AJ Styles visited with Xavier Woods to play some Mario Kart 8 Deluxe. Additionally, Major League Wrestling's weekly episodic fusion show did not get a video link. Right, actually, no, I did not. Took place from Melrose Ballroom in Queens, New York. Show opened up with a promo from Contra Unit. Simon Gotch assured that Tom Lawler will be begging for mercy after Jacob Fatu finishes him tonight. Fatu jumps in and promises to finish what he started in Chicago. All hell Contra. They scream, ending the visit. Full fusion intro. Rick Bocchini and Tony Schiavone welcome up to another edition of MLW Fusion. Kodo Brazil, Myron Reed, Jordan Oliver make their way out for the opening contest. Ring announcers introduce them as Injustice. Footage of Reed's battle with bad officiating and Oliver and Brazil joining the faction is shown. Zenchi, Airwolf, and Gringo Loco are their opponents. Injustice versus Zenchi, Airwolf, and Gringo Loco. Loco and Oliver began the match. Oliver parades around the ring with custom signs. Loco nails him to start. Pace kick picks up. Rolling senton, standing moonsault by Loco. Airwolf tags in, but Oliver catches him with a string of vicious chops. Airwolf responds with chops of his own. Snap suplex, Zenchi tags in, connects with a springboard corkscrew splash. Brazil and Reed jump in, but Loco, Zenchi, and Airwolf drop him with drop kicks. Loco walks in on his partner's shoulders and lands a swanton. Oliver and Justice rolls to the outside to reset. Babyface's fake suicide dives and pose in the ring. Oliver and Reed pull out Loco and Zenchi. Brazil with a suicide dive out of nowhere. Loco takes out the lot with a tope con hilo. Zenchi with a running shooting star press off the apron. Everyone is down. Loud MLW chants. Back in the ring, Loco gets a near fall after a top rope moonsault. Brazil and Reed break up the pin. Stereo super kicks by Brazil and Reed sends Zenchi to the ringside. Brazil nails Loco with a code breaker. Running uppercut from Airwolf to Brazil, but Brazil retakes control by yanking out Wolf's foot from the turnbuckle. Injustice works out Airwolf for a bit, utilizing quick tags to wear the luchador down. Wolf creates separation with an impressive backflip kick. He tags in Zenchi. Zenchi knocks Reed and Brazil off of the apron, then drop kicks Oliver in the knee. Handspring backflip kick. Loco comes out of nowhere with a springboard cutter. Brazil hits a frog splash. Zenchi to the apron. Reed jumps from the ring and cutters him to the outside. Referee gets taken out. Reed reveals that he has brass knuckles. Loco blocks the shot and grabs the knuckles himself. Then Lozo Reed, Oliver and Brazil team up on Airwolf, rebound center, and Salito Hell for the win. Injustice by pinfall. After match, Injustice stomps on down the referee. They stand tall to end the segment. Commentaries hype up the main event. Jacob Fatu defending MLW Heavyweight Championship against former champion Tom Lawler. Lawler is shown back shadow boxing with the Von Erichs backstage. MLW's joint show with Crash Lucha Libre and Tijuana was advertised. Preview for MLW's first pay-per-view, Saturday Night Super Fight on November 2nd from Chicago. Flashback to last week, when the Promociones Dorado got Mansei Warrior arrested. Commentary tells us the Warrior cooled the Jets in jail, but was eventually bailed out. A rundown of the War Chamber matchup is shown. Commentary asks, who will Tom Lawler and the Von Erichs fourth partner be? Promo from the Von Erichs, they stand with their father, legendary Kevin Von Erich, who will accompany him to the ring. Ross says Contra has tried to blind him on multiple occasions, but promises to dethrone the evil action once and for all. That's what the Von Erichs do. We defeat the undefeated. A video package of the gold medalist Dominic Guarini is played. He will be making his debut soon. Cut to footage of Alexander Hammerstone competing in Pro Wrestling Noah's in one tournament in Japan. Hammerstone is shown working out. He says that he may have come out of the womb handsome, but he had to work hard to get into the shape that he's in. Georgia Smith interrupts Hammerstone, joking that her and Davy Boy used to lift that much weight when they were little kids. Hammerstone adds that weight to his set and goes back to work. Tail of the tape for Fatu and Lawler displayed side by side. They sat in their first meeting. Fatu landed 90% of the offense. We'll see if that changes this time around. Man of the time, Contra's Joseph Samuel is in the ring to introduce Fatu. He says Contra has single-handedly taken over MLW, calling him the global enforcers of violence. Hail Contra, screams out Samuel. Eventually he brings out the champ to a chaos of booze. Lawler is out next. The intensity boiling over. Start bawling. Here we go. Fatu versus Tom Lawler for the MLW Heavyweight Championship. Lawler connects with a flying crossbody off the top. Running forearm smash in the corner. Discus lariat. Rocks Fatu. He bounces off the apron. Bounces off the ropes. Fatu attempts a super kick, but Lawler had it scouted. Lariat. Samuel hops on the apron. Lawler sends him flying. Back suplex by Lawler. He climbs to the top again. Fatu catches him in a Samoan drop. Covers only gets to two. Fatu goes to work on Lawler's midsection. He drives the shoulder into Lawler's gut in the corner. Big right hand, followed by a foot choke in the corner. Fatu sends Lawler off the ropes, hits a back elbow and a jumping headbutt. And then another. Lawler gets to his feet, throwing chops, but Fatu drops him with one strike. Punt kick by Fatu. Lawler responds with a leg kick. Fatu answers by hitting Lawler's ribs. Hard Irish whip. Lawler collides hard into the turnbuckles. The champ is in total control. Plays to the crowd, screaming, all hail country again. Lawler begins mounting a gunfight. Right jabs, he pounds Fatu down. Fatu with a super kick. Lawler is out on his feet. Handspring moves off of Fatu. He doesn't go for the pin, instead opting to smash Lawler's face off the top turnbuckle. Fatu stomps him down in the corner. Commentary wonders how much more Lawler can take. Fatu charges. Lawler moves to the apron. Lawler with a guillotine over the ropes. Ref has to break it. Lawler traps Fatu in the ropes. He brings the arm and connects with a head kick. Fatu catches Lawler coming back in with right hand. He goes to the outside to recover. Samuel jaw jacks to distract Lawler. Suicide dive from Fatu. Picks Lawler up for a slam off the ring post. Lawler uses Fatu's momentum against him and sends him face first. He sets up a chair, jumping off of it with a Superman punch. Fatu retakes control and drops Lawler over the barricade. Back in the ring, Fatu goes for a pop-up Samoan drop, but that spot got botched. Lawler applies a rear naked choke. Fatu goes down to one knee. He breaks a hole by running Lawler into the corner. Spear attempt. Lawler moved and Fatu ties himself up in the corner. Running knees from Lawler. He picks Fatu up. Airplane spin. DVD. Covers. Fatu just kicks out. Lawler targets Fatu's chest with kicks. This wakes Fatu up. Lawler unloads with a flurry of strikes. Big layer to the back of Fatu's head. He grabs Fatu's arm. Thrusts knee for a near fall. Lawler goes for a German suplex. He got him. Exploder from Lawler that sends Fatu in the corner. Samuel with another distraction. He hits Lawler in the back of the head with a railroad spike. Ref didn't see it. Fatu climbs. Top rope moonsault. It's over. Fatu wins by pinfall to retain the MLW championship. After match, Simon Gotch comes in and Contra assaults Lawler. Gotch applies the armbar. Von Erich's here. They begin brawling. Akira Kwan comes out. The numbers prove too much for Von Erichs and Lawler. They take a beating. Officials and security try to break things up, but Contra takes them all out as well. Low keys music plays. Crowd erupts. He charges the rock spot too. Von Erichs and Lawler recover, and massive brawl ensues. That is the show, so it looks like you got the fourth man. Low key. Pre-show dark match before Sunday's NXT tapings from the Motor Point Arena in Cardiff, Wales, saw the Hunt, Primate, and Wild Boar defeat the team of A-Kid and Zach Stars. Post-show dark main event saw Pete Dunne defeat Fabian Eichner. Thanks to Owen for the following NXT UK tapings from the show and Motor Point. Cardiff, Wales tapings from Fallout from Saturday's NXT UK takeover Cardiff event. Imperium come to the ring for a promo. That's Walter, Fabian Eichner, Martel and Alexander Wolf. Fabian Eichner and Martel defeated Danny Jones and Harry Green. Jordan Devlin defeated Ashton Smith. Tegan Knox defeated Shax. After the match, Kaylee Ray came out, but Knox challenged her to a match for later. NXT UK Tag Team Champions Mark Andrews and Flash Morgan Webster retained over Zach Gibson and James Drake in a rematch from TakeOver. Travis Bates defeated Tyson T-Bone. Rhea Ripley defeated Debbie Keitel. Jazzy Gabbert came out after the match and faced off with Ripley. Joseph Connors defeated Kenny Williams. Cassius Ohno defeated Sid Scala in a British rounds match. Ligero defeated Oliver Carter. Tyler Bate came out to the ring for a promo and said he's not done with the NXT UK brand. Jordan Devlin interrupted him and had words. Nina Samuels defeated Danny Lula. Noam Dar defeated Trent Seven by DQ when Seven kept hitting Dar against the ropes after the referee's 5 count. Piper Niven defeated Isla Dawn. What? Roddy Piper's daughter in NXT UK? In WWE? Alexander Wolf defeated Saxon Huxley. Zach Stars versus Mike Bird never happened as Gallus, Wolfgang, and Mark Coffey attacked Bird before the match. Flash Morgan Webster and Mark Andrews made the save, but Joe Kobe ran out and helped Gallus get the upper hand, laying out the NXT UK Tag Team Champions. NXT UK Women's Champion Kaylee Ray defeated Tegan Knox in a non-title match. After the match, Ray attacked Knox, but she fought her off. Ricochet and Raw Tag Team Champions Braun Strowman joined WWE Women's Tag Team Champions Alexa Bliss and Nikki Cross for a special visit to the Josh Hopkins Children's Center on Monday in Baltimore before Raw. The Strowman tweeted about the trip and called it the best part of the job. He wrote, "Unbelievable time with the kiddos this morning. Hashtag best part of the job." At this link. Main event episode spoilers. Sarah Logan defeated Dana Brooke. Mojo Rawley defeated No Way Jose. Raw opened up live from the Royal Farms Arena from Baltimore, Maryland. Corey Graves, welcome to the show. Chimed in by Renee Young and Michael Cole. Saw. We go right to the ring. Out comes Raw Tag Team Champions Braun Strowman for the Clash of Champions main event. Contract signing. Mike Rome does introductions. Gentleman takes a seat. Universal Tag and Raw Tag Team Champion Seth Rollins makes his way out. Coleslaw shakes her hands as Rollins sits down. Coleslaw talks about making their Clash of Champions match official. He also mentions that they will defend the Raw Tag Team Champions titles against Robert Roode and Dolph Ziggler the same night. Fans boo the mention of Ziggler and Roode. Coleslaw asks if they will function as a team. Rollins says he's no stranger to defend 2 titles. He mentions retaining the tag team titles, and Strowman agrees, but says it will be awkward when Rollins' tag team partner defeats him for the Universal title later on. Rollins taunts Strowman for not being able to slay the Beast, Brock Lesnar, when he was able to. Rollins says he will slay the monster at Clash of Champions. Rollins signs the contract. Music interrupts. Out comes the OC. AJ Styles, Luke Gallows, and Carl Anderson. AJ takes a mic from the stage, and Coleslaw says they're not allowed out here. AJ mocks the history being made at Clash of Champions. Fan chant his name. AJ wonders why Strowman has a Universal title shot. It says the U.S. champion should be the first in line for the Universal title shot by proxy. AJ mentions how he doesn't have a Clash of Champions opponent. AJ goes on about how all Strowman had to do is to get a title shot was take a gander at the strap. AJ says no respect to Ziggler and Roode, but they're not even a real tag team. OC is. He says, AJ says if the OC doesn't get what they want, then no one is going to get what they want. OC enters the ring. Coleslaw interrupts, but AJ tells him to shut up and threatens him. Rollins and Strowman stand up to prepare for a fight. As Coleslaw exits the ring, OC stares the champions down. So, no official signing from Strowman. AJ takes the Strowman versus Rollins contract, tears it up. The table is tipped over on AJ as Rollins and Strowman unload on Gallows and Anderson. Rollins and Strowman clear the ring and trash talk to the OC as Raw goes to commercial. We get Seth Rollins and Braun Strowman versus Luke Gallows and Carl Anderson. Back to the ring, non-title match is underway. Seth is going at it with Carl. Braun Strowman and Luke Gallows wait for tags as AJ barks orders from ringside. Rollins fights off Anderson and delivers big chops. Gallows tags in, stares Rollins down. Gallows overpowers some, but Strowman tags himself in when Rollins isn't expecting it. Strowman and Gallows meet in the middle of the ring now. They end up locking up after trash talking. Gallows with big body strikes in the corner. Strowman ends up leveling Gallows with a big boot. After missing a clothesline, Rollins tags in for double teaming on Gallows. Rollins works over Gallows' arm, but Gallows rocks him and tags in Anderson. Rollins' arm drags Anderson into an armbar and keeps him grounded. Anderson fights back, but Rollins slams him into the turnbuckle. Rollins takes Anderson to the top, turns him upside down to tree of woe for kick. But Rollins nails a basement drop kick for a 2 count. Gallows comes back in and unloads on Rollins as AJ cheers him on. Anderson tags in and keeps Rollins grounded. Fans and Strowman try to rally for Rollins now. Rollins goes for a tag, but Anderson shuts him down. Anderson goes for a superplex, but it's countered. Anderson counters and keeps Rollins from tagging. Gallows comes in and rocks Rollins to take over. Anderson sends Rollins to the floor as they distract the referee, allowing AJ to drop Rollins at ringside. Braun runs over to make the save, but AJ runs away as the referee stoops Braun from pursuing him. Referee returns to the ring as we go back to commercial. Back from the ring, Rollins is going at it with Gallows. Trading big shots, Gallows drops Rollins, and in comes Anderson. Rollins counters and kicks Anderson in the face. Strowman tags in for a pop. Strowman unloads on Anderson and spices him in the corner. Gallows helps out and tries to double team Rollins, but it backfires. More back and forth. Rollins unloads on Anderson now. Rollins cranks up, and AJ hits the apron. AJ gets knocked off. This leads to Rollins rolling Anderson up for the pin and a win. After the bell, AJ immediately attacks Rollins. Rollins fights back, clears the ring, and AJ and Anderson. Strowman recovers on the outside and runs right over Gallows. Then AJ and then Rollins by accident. Strowman can't believe he hurt his partner. Ziggler and Robert Roode run down to attack Strowman. OC joins in, and they all beat Strowman down at ringside. It's a fans boo. Ziggler and Roode ram apart and steal steps into Strowman. They bring Strowman into the ring, but Rollins tries to make the save, but they beat him down as well. Ziggler hits a super kick, and Roode hits a glorious DDT on Rollins. Strowman rushes AJ into the corner, but everyone beats him down. Roode and Ziggler help Gallows and Anderson hit a magic killer on Strowman. They all hold Strowman next while AJ goes to the apron for a phenomenal forearm. Roode gets down in Rollins' face while the OC goes and does the too sweet sign. Roode and Ziggler stand tall with the OC as AJ's music plays. Still to come, Becky Lynch responds to Sasha Banks. Also, the Women's Championship Showcase go to commercial. Charlie Caruso backstage with Cedric Alexander to discuss the King of Ring match, but the OC suddenly attacked out of nowhere, and they beat him down. Cedric is triple teamed and left on the ground after the too sweet over him. Cedric clenches his arm as an official comes to check on him. Ziggler and Roode versus Zack Ryder and Kurt Hawkins was up next. We go to the ring. Ziggler awaits with Roode. Kurt Hawkins and Zack Ryder are already in the ring. Ziggler starts off with Ryder and strikes first. Ryder ends up dropping Ziggler on his face in the middle of the ring. Hawkins tags in for a double team move, but on Roode for a 2 count. Hawkins keeps control and fights off Ziggler recovering. Hawkins with a swinging neck breaker. Roode ends up tagging in without Hawkins seeing it. Roode and Ziggler turn around and launch Hawkins into the barrier on the outside. Roode brings him back in the ring and knocks Ryder off the apron. Roode smashes Hawkins in the corner and drops him over the top rope. Ziggler tags back in and nails Hawkins while Roode holds him. Ziggler shows off and talks trash while keeping Hawkins grounded. Hawkins decks Ziggler and goes to tag in, but Roode comes in. Ryder and Roode go at it. Ryder with knees in the corner, misses a drop kick to Roode. Ryder goes for the Rough Rider, but Roode blocks it. Roode goes down in the corner. Hawkins tags in for a double team blockbuster off the second rope, but Ziggler breaks up the pin. Ryder sends Ziggler into the apron, but Ziggler counters and sends Ryder to the floor. Ziggler super kicks Hawkins, sending him into the glorious DDT from Roode. And Roode covers for the pin for the win. After the match, Roode and Ziggler celebrate. Roode music plays. We go to replays, come back to the number 1 contenders posing in the corner. Still to come, King of the Ring quarterfinals begin. We see Lacey Evans walking backstage, back commercial. Lacey Evans versus Natalya. Back from the break, out comes Lacey. Natalya's music hits while Lacey is still walking down the ramp for her entrance. Natalya runs down and runs over Evans with a shoulder. Natalya hits the ring and waits for Evans to recover and join her. The bell rings and they go at it. Natalya takes Evans down, but Evans turns it around on the mat. Natalya takes Evans down by her arm and works it over. More back and forth as they tangle now. Evans mushes Natalya in the head and sends her into the corner but misses. Natalya drops Evans, runs and steps on her, then hits a basement drop kick for a 2 count. Evans rolls to the floor for a breather. Natalya follows out and launches Evans into the barrier. Natalya brings him back in to the ring, but Evans goes back to the floor to regroup. Natalya follows and charges, but Evans slams her to the floor. Evans brings him back in the ring for a 2 count. Evans keeps Natalya grounded and works her over. Evans talks trash and puts a boot to Natalya, keeping her grounded with another hold. Natalya struggles, but Evans sends her into the corner and works her over with boots. Evans focuses on Natalya's injured arm, which is still taped up. This week, Evans breaks at the referee's 5 count. Evans goes to the top for a big moonsault, but Natalya moves and she lands hard. Evans runs into an elbow in the corner. They trade shots now. Natalya with a pair of clothesline, then the discus clothesline for a 2 count in the middle of the ring. Classic Natalya. Offense, and Natalya keeps control and nails the suplex. Natalya keeps trying to turn Evans for the sharpshooter, but she resists. Natalya approaches, but Evans sends her face first into the middle turnbuckle. Natalya unloads on the ropes. Evans causes a distraction with a cheap shot, then drops the K with the women's right out of nowhere for the pin. After the match, Evan Santana with a music play. So the come segment, Rey Mysterio returning 2 weeks after Son Dominic talked him out of retiring. We see Becky Lynch walking backstage, fans pop, putting in the arena. Back to commercial. Back from the break, out comes Raw Women's Champion Becky Lynch to a pop. We see recent happenings between Lynch and Sasha Banks. Lynch says it's good to be back in Baltimore. She says that the man has something to say live on Raw. Sasha Banks, where are you? Becky heard Banks' excuses for being away last week, and it's a load of crap. Lynch says Banks has no reason to complain, and goes on about how WWE has always given her opportunities while Becky was clawing for a spot. Lynch says Banks and Charlotte Flair were parading in the front like the frauds they are. Becky calls Banks a delusional little weirdo and says she will teach her a lesson. Fan chat for Becky. Banks goes on and mentions how SmackDown Women's Champion Bayley has been doing fine while she's been away. Becky says it hurts Banks that Becky is the face of the company. Becky says Banks was supposed to be her. She goes on taunting Banks and talking trash, calling her a little blue-eyed freak, and telling her they could do this woman to woman. Banks' music interrupts and out she comes. As Lynch gets inside for a fight, Banks agrees that she was supposed to be Becky. The WrestleMania event, the magazine covers, the money, and everything else. Banks says Becky only got all that because Nia Jax broke her face. Banks said this is business, not personal, just like it was business when she beat the heck out of Lynch with a chair a few weeks ago. Banks says she can make this personal. Lynch says if Banks wants to fight, they can fight. Banks, speaking from the stage, says she will do it on her own terms, and she will face Lynch at Clash of Champions. Lynch accepts. He says the man versus the boss is on for Clash. Banks says after Clash of Champions, the man will be the boss's bitch. Banks walks up the ramp, and as the music starts up, Lynch raises her title in the air and looks on. Street Profits backstage, Montez Ford and Angelo Dawkins backstage, still doing their backstage segments. They are shocked at what we just saw. But Ford barks and sends us to a commercial. King of the Ring quarterfinal match, Baron Corbin versus Cedric Alexander. We got the ring first comes Corbin for the King of the Ring quarterfinal match. Corbin checks out the King of the Ring throne. Crown scepter on the stage. We get free match comments from the sidebar from Corbin, who can't wait to hear all help from the fans. Cedric Alexander was out next, clutching his arm from the OC attack earlier. Back and forth between the two to start the match. Corbin runs out and back in at one point, leveling Cedric and turning him inside out. Corbin keeps control and drops Cedric with a big shot to the back of the head. Corbin stands tall and taunts Cedric as the fans boo him. Cedric fights back with a chop and a drop kick. Cedric keeps control and hits a kick off the ropes. Corbin goes back to the floor, but Cedric nails a suicide dive, sending him into a barrier. Cedric with more offense and a 2 count in the middle of the ring. Fans chant for Cedric as he gets back up. Corbin rocks him and ends up turning him upside down in the corner. Corbin works him over and slams him into the ring post twice. Corbin yells out as the fans boo him. Cedric falls to the floor, sells the ring post shot as we go to commercial. Back from the commercial as Corbin has Cedric grounded, beating him with elbows. Corbin continuing to dominate. Corbin with another big shot from the back of the head. Corbin drops Cedric in the corner and works him over there. Cedric finally fights back and connects with a kick. Cedric with a drop kick in the corner. Fans are trying to rally for Cedric, but Corbin catches him with a huge spine buster. Cedric kicks out at 2. Corbin shows frustration. Corbin mounts Cedric again and works him over again. Corbin sends Cedric arm first into the corner, tosses him to the apron as Cedric hangs on. Cedric comes right back, but Corbin catches him in a deep six out of nowhere. Cedric still kicks out. Corbin can't believe it. Corbin runs out and back in, but Cedric sends him shoulder first into the corner. Cedric launches Corbin into the post again, and a third time. Cedric sends Corbin into the ring post one more time again. Then unloads with a kick. While he's down in the corner, Corbin goes to the floor for a breather. Cedric runs the ropes and leaps out, taking Corbin down on the floor. Cedric brings it back in and goes for a kick from the top. Barely connected. Corbin kicks out at 2. Fans rally for Cedric now. Corbin fights him off. Cedric blocks the end of days and rolls Corbin up for a 2 count. Cedric catches Corbin with a Michinoku jobber for a 2 count. Cedric waits for Corbin to get up. Lets the fans pop. Corbin sends Cedric into the apron. Back out to the apron. Cedric with a kick to the face from the apron. Corbin makes Cedric fall from the top rope. And Corbin nails the end of days for the pin and the win to advance. After the match, Corbin stands tall. And he will now face the winner of Ricochet and Samoa Joe in the semis. We got a replay. Corbin makes his exit, clutching his arm. Cedric recovers in the ring. We get an updated look at the King of Ring brackets. Corbin starts on the stage and poses with a scepter and crown. Still to come, Women's Championship Showcase. Plus a look at the recent Roman Reigns storyline by the commercial. Back from the break, Coleslaw shows us a tweet from the Hall of Famer Stone Cold, where he offers to moderate the Strowman versus Rollins contract for next week's Raw from Batista Square Garden. It was confirmed that Austin will oversee the signing next week from Madison Square Garden. Also, later on in the Raw show, they advertised Undertaker for SmackDown for next week. Charlotte Cruz is backstage with Bayley. Bayley doesn't want to talk about the recent comments made by Sasha because they're personal. So she did talk with Banks because they're best friends. Bayley says Banks did go home after WrestleMania 35, and that was her decision, not Bayley's, as Bayley chose to stay and fight. And now she's the SmackDown Women's Champion. Bayley says she's teaming up with Becky next tonight, so why doesn't Caruso ask about that? Caruso asks if Bayley feels overshadowed by Becky in the match tonight. Bayley says she doesn't feel that way and won't. She goes on about how she always does what she has to win. By the end of the night, we will see who is standing in the shadow of the other. We see the Viking Raiders backstage, back commercial. Squash match was my prediction, and yeah, we get that. As we get the Viking Raiders versus Tyler Hastings and Brian Thomas. We got to ring for your enhancement talents, Brian Thomas and Tyler Hastings. She asks why they accepted this match with Eric and Ivar. They talk about driving here from all the way from Pittsburgh as the fans boo. They say they will make the Viking Raiders look like a couple of morons from Baltimore. Fans boo again. Music hits and out comes Viking Raiders. Ivar dominates Tyler to start the match. Ivar tags in for double top power moves. Thomas goes outside of the ring and gets double teamed into the barrier. Eric destroys Tyler in the ring. Thomas runs in, but Eric launches Tyler into him, and they both go down. Eric tagged in, and they hit a huge version of the Viking Experience on Tyler for the pin in the middle ring. After the match, Eric and Ivar stand tall as the music plays, and we go to replay. Sarah Schreiber's backstage with Sasha and asks if she will be rooting for her best friend Bayley tonight, even though she's teaming with Becky Lynch. Banks says she sees what Schreiber is trying to do here. Banks yells at Schreiber to get the hell out of her face. Schreiber is terrified. She hurries away and stumbles into the wall while retreating. King of the Ring quarterfinal match, Samoa Joe versus Ricochet. We go to the ring for the last King of the Ring quarterfinal match for the Red Brand. Samoa's out first as the fans chant his name. We go to commercial as Joe stands tall. Back to the right, we see. And so Steve Austin is confirmed for Braun Strowman versus Seth Rollins contract signing for next week. We go back to the ring. Joe has a mic. Joe talks about becoming the King of the Ring. Out comes Ricochet to a pop. We get a sidebar comment from Ricochet on what it would mean to win the tournament. And this is the second part of this video. Raw conclusion for your Daily Motion fan who are watching. As we're getting the finish of the Samoa Joe versus Ricochet quarterfinal match. The bell rings, they go at it. Joe takes Ricochet down by his arm, focuses on it. Ricochet comes back, but Joe controls him by his arm and keeps him grounded in the middle of the ring. Joe smiles while keeping Ricochet grounded. Ricochet fights up and works Joe's arm. Joe gets to the ropes and breaks. The hold is broken. Joe would kicks now and take down by the knee. Ricochet makes it to the ropes and breaks the hold. Joe keeps control and trash talking Ricochet around the ring, but more back and forth. Ricochet fights free and gets more offense. Ricochet sends Joe out of the ring and lands hard on the floor. They trade strikes on the floor. Ricochet goes to the top of the barrier and flies, taking Joe back down. Joe focuses on the knees now, but Ricochet hangs with him in the ring. Joe drops Ricochet on both knees. And Ricochet yells out in pain as the referee checks on him. Joe with a half crab. Ricochet gets to the bottom rope, and the referee warns him after the 5 count. Joe chops Ricochet back down. Joe with a headbutt. Ricochet counters and takes Joe back down with head scissors. Ricochet keeps control and nails the moonsault for a 2 count. Ricochet with big strikes in the corner. Joe charges but moves. Ricochet lands hard on his bad knee. Joe takes advantage and hits a big Uranagi. Joe brings Ricochet to the floor and launches him into the barrier with a big exploder suplex. Joe takes his time before finally bringing him back in the ring. Ricochet kicks out. Some fans chant for Joe as he keeps Ricochet down. Focusing on his neck and shoulders, Ricochet fights up and out, but Joe delivers a back chop in the middle of the ring. We'll go back to commercial. Back for the break. Joe has Ricochet grounded once again. Ricochet tries to fight back, but Joe drops him once again. Joe keeps on in the corner, but Ricochet keeps fighting, and Joe goes down with a drop kick. More big strikes in the middle of the ring. Ricochet with a running shoulder in the corner and a block push from the top. Ricochet with a running shooting star press for a close 2 count. We see Baron Corbin watching backstage. Ricochet goes up top, but has to land on his feet as Joe jumps up and moves. Joe immediately catches Ricochet with a huge power stomp in the middle of the ring for a close 2 count. Ricochet fights Joe off with elbows. Ricochet rolls Joe up for a 2 count. Joe with an inverted atomic drop. Ricochet comes back and drops Joe with a big kick. Joe goes to the floor for a breather, but Ricochet leaps out with a modified tiger drop as fans pop. Ricochet brings Joe back in the ring as the referee counts. Ricochet goes to the top, but Joe cuts him off with a shot to the knee. Joe turns Ricochet around and climbs up with him. Joe applies a coquina clutch while up high. Ricochet starts fading. Ricochet fights as they both fall to the mat together. Both shoulders are down and arms barely on top of each other. The referee counts both as calls for the bell. Winner to be announced. After the match, the referee John Cone goes to ringside to get a headset. Talking to someone in the back, he says both of their shoulders were down from his view. He thanks someone on the other end and says he will take that, what they said, under consideration. Ricochet stops him ringside, and Cone says they will make a ruling soon. Cone heads to the back as Joe shoves Ricochet. Joe drops Ricochet and brings him into the ring. Joe tries to unload on Ricochet, but it's blocked. Ricochet counters it and nails Joe with a recoil, sending him out of the ring. Ricochet makes his exit. As his meter starts back up, we go to replay, showing both of the shoulders down again, with arms on each other. Ricochet looks on from the ramp as Joe recovers at ringside. Winners will be announced soon still. Still to come, Women's Championship Showcase. Braun Strowman approaches Seth Rollins backstage and mentions how Steve Austin will officiate the contract signing next week. Strowman feels like Austin is there to assist Rollins against him to set him up. Rollins points out how ludicrous this idea is. Rollins says he's not turning on Strowman, and if Austin will prevent a repeat of tonight with the OC. He's all for it. Strowman says Austin will get these hands. If he gets in the way, Strowman walks off. During the come segment, the return of Firefly Funhouse. Back to commercial. Back for the break, we get a new Firefly Funhouse segment with Bray Wyatt. Supposedly, he confirms the Hell in a Cell challenge for the Universal title to the winner of the Clash of Champions main event. Either Braun Strowman or Seth Rollins. Puppet that looks like the devil. A Vince McMahon is there, and he calls out Wyatt for challenging Strowman or Rollins, asking doesn't Wyatt know how important they are? Wyatt shows the Vince puppet that he's making money, and then feeds him. The Vince puppet is satisfied and disappears. Wyatt says, "We saw how Strowman and Rollins and don't make a good team because they are selfish and greedy. And in another life, they took something dear from him." We start to see signs of the Fiend with graphics on the screen. Wyatt goes on about how his team, the puppets, help him cope with pain, but the Fiend helps him inflict it. The Rambling Rabbit puppet was holding a help sign, but Wyatt pushed him to the side. We see more signs of the Fiend appearing. Wyatt says he will see you in hell. As he starts laughing, he stops laughing and stares at the camera. "Let me in," he says, as the Fiend's face appears over his. He cuts back to Wyatt smiling, waving goodbye, and saying he will see us later. Well, we get a replay of the Samoa Joe versus Ricochet King of the Ring finish. Corey Graves is backstage with referee John Cone, asking about the official decision. Baron Corbin interrupts and says they eliminated each other, so he receives a bye to the finals. Cone says, actually, WWE management has decided that Joe and Ricochet were both not eliminated. They both advanced. Corbin versus Joe versus Ricochet in a triple threat will take place next week. Cone walks off as Corbin throws a fit. Charlie's backstage again with Rey Mysterio. She asks about what the emotional roller coaster he's been on with his family. He talks about his own son. Dominic stopped him from retiring 2 weeks ago. They had a father-son moment. Later that night, Dominic talked about being blessed to grow up in the WWE family. Ray can never thank them enough for reminding him and talking him into continuing to pursue his passion. Ray said that had him thinking how crazy this is because as parents, we're responsible for pushing kids to follow their dreams. But here, his son is pushing him to continue chasing his. Ray says he's not done. Fans in the arena applause. Ray says he's not done, not just yet. And he still has a lot more to accomplish. Ray says he's doing this for his son. Charlie thanks him, and Ray walks off. What an idea I just had. Put them in the tag team and win the tag team championships. Who would they face off against? To be continued. Miz versus Cesaro is up next. We go to the ring. Out comes Miz. Back to commercial. Back from the break. Out comes Cesaro. Bell rings and Cesaro immediately unloads, dropping Miz for a close 2 count. Cesaro follows up on to the outside and hits a big running uppercut against the barrier. Cesaro brings it back in the ring and hits a big clothesline for a 2 count. In the middle of the ring, Cesaro argues with the referee and keeps control until Miz catches him with a neck breaker out of nowhere. Miz with kicks to the chest while Cesaro is on his knees. Cesaro ducks a kick and uppercuts Miz to the mat for another 2 count. More back and forth in the corner now. Cesaro stands on the second rope and hits a big superplex, bringing Miz in for the apron. Cesaro covers for a 2 count in the middle of the ring. Miz kicks Cesaro and fights back with strikes. Cesaro runs into a boot in the corner. More back and forth. Miz nails the DDT for a 2 count. Miz blocks a shot. Unloads with kicks in the corner. The yes kicks. Miz with a lying knee in the corner. And then another. Cesaro blocks the third and lifts Miz into an uppercut. Cesaro covers for another 2 count. It goes for the Cesaro swing, but can't hit it. They tangle and Miz blocks another Cesaro swing attempt. And Cesaro blocks the figure four. They trade more pin attempts and go back to the corner. Miz nailing right hand. Cesaro fights out of a corner with big uppercuts. Miz catches Cesaro with a skull crushing finale out of nowhere. It covers for the win. After the match, Miz stands tall. As his music hits, we go to Coleslaw, hyping up Clash of Champions title shot from the Intercontinental Champion Shinsuke Nakamura. So to come Women's Championship Showcase back to commercial. Back for the break, Coleslaw confirms the following for next Monday's Raw from Madison Square Garden. So Steve Austin officiating Braun Strowman versus Seth Rollins contract signing, King of the Ring, semifinals, triple threat, with Samoa Joe versus Ricochet versus Baron Corbin. Women's Championship Showcase match. Alexa Bliss and Nikki Cross versus Becky Lynch and Bayley. We go to the ring for tonight's non-title main event. First ever Women's Championship Showcase. Out first are Tag Team Champions Nikki Cross and Alexa Bliss. SmackDown Champion Bayley is out first for her team. Raw Women's Champion Becky was out next. She meets Bayley at the bottom of the ramp and they hit the ring together. Cross starts off with Bayley as they go at it. Cross jumps on Bayley's back but gets slammed to the mat. Bayley comes back and hits a suplex for a 1 count in the middle of the ring. Bayley ends up sending Cross to the floor. Bayley follows and drop kicks Cross through the turnbuckles and the corner. Bliss approaches, but Lynch leaps out of the ring, taking her down before she gets across and Bayley. They bring the action back in the ring, but the music interrupts. Out comes Sasha Banks. Bayley slowly walks out to the stage, staring down at Lynch in the ring. Lynch rants and looks at Bayley. Lynch opens the ring and invites Banks to come into the ring as we go to commercial. Back from the break, Bliss has control of Bayley. Banks watches from the bottom of the ramp. Bliss with a suplex to Bayley for a 2 count. We see how Cross and Bliss traps Bayley in the apron to turn it around during commercial break. Bliss works Bayley over in the corner and now tags in and Cross. Bliss levels her on the way outside of the ring, on the way out of the ring. Cross turns Bayley upside down in a tree of woe, working her over and hitting a big headbutt. Bayley drops Cross on top rope. Steakhouse. Bayley goes to make a tag, but Cross kicks her out of the ring right in front of Banks. Cross mocks Bayley and brings Bayley back into the ring. Bliss tags her in for a double team. Bliss with a big slap to the face of Bayley for a 2 count. Cross tags back in and takes Bayley down, keeping her from the hot tag. Bayley reaches, but Cross drives her knee into the gut. Cross decks Bayley on the apron now. The champ double team Bayley in the corner as Lynch tries to come in, but is stopped by the referee. Bayley deals with another double team and then drops Bliss with an elbow. Bliss gets sent out to the floor. Bayley drops Cross over the middle rope. Bliss stops Bayley from tagging again. Bliss counters and rolls Bliss up for a 2 count. Becky finally gets a hot tag, dropping Cross off the apron and unloading on Bliss. Becky with kicks and knees and kicks and more offense to Bliss in the middle of the ring. Becky drops Bliss and plays to the crowd for a pop as Banks stares her down. Bliss goes to the middle rope and hits a flying leg drop to Bliss, but Cross breaks up the pin. Cross sends Lynch to the apron, but Becky kicks away and fights back in. Lynch with a back splutter, suplex to Cross. Becky splashes Cross as Bliss at the same time in the corner. Then hits the springboard kicks. Lynch unloads with kicks to Bliss in the corner until Banks runs into the ring and attacks her from behind as the referee calls for the bell. Winners by disqualification, Becky Lynch and Bayley. Bell rings and Banks drops Lynch with a back stabber out of the corner. Banks ends up going out to the floor and bringing in a steel chair from under the ring. She brings it in and unloads on Lynch in the middle of the ring. Bayley runs in and stops her. Taking in the chair, Bayley and Banks stare at each other. Bayley holds the chair smiles at Banks before unloading on Lynch. With it, Banks watches and smiles from the corner as Bailey destroys Lynch with a chair shot. Fan chat, yes, as Raw goes off the air. And that concludes my results from Raw for this week. Thanks for giving me a shout. See you when I'll be in. If you don't know, just call me, brothers and sisters.